And we just kind of don't know what to do right now.
An Anderson family stuck waiting nearly 2 weeks for COVID test results. We are working to find out what is causing the delay.
We have to just continue to be hopeful and encourage people to weather this storm.
Help is out there. That's the message groups want you to know when it comes to rental assistance and other needs during this pandemic, how you can get connected.
Thunderstorms well to the south of central Indiana right now, but where and when will they pop up next?
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Now at 5, as the coronavirus continues its spread across the country, Hoosiers looking to get a COVID-19 test may experience a delay in finding out their results. It's something being seen across the state.
RTV6's Megan Santorum spoke with one mother who says her daughter has been waiting almost 2 weeks now.
The turnaround time for COVID-19 tests may be advertised as 6 to 10 days, but some are finding it takes even longer than that to get their results.
We just kind of don't know what to do right now.
Amanda Cook says her daughter went to a CVS in Anderson back on the 8th and got a COVID test after waking up with a sore throat. Her employer asked her to stay home and wait for the results before coming back to work. But now she's been waiting almost 2 weeks. She hasn't been able to work and she's not getting paid.
She's continuing to check her email. Like, she's checking every 5 minutes and going onto the portal that they gave her to log in. And 2 days ago, it finally updated and said that her test was at the laboratory, but it hasn't gone any farther than that yet.
We reached out to CVS. They tell us patient samples are sent to off-site third-party labs, who are then responsible for processing and delivering the results. They say an increase in COVID-19 cases in certain areas of the country has increased demand for tests and caused backlogs in the lab. It's something the state health commissioner, Dr. Christina Box, said is happening with the state's testing sites as well.
We're seeing longer turnaround times for results due to the national demand for testing.
Some OptumServe results are taking up to 80 hours to be processed. Meanwhile, Cook says her daughter will continue to stay home and they hope to receive results soon. Working for you, Megan Santorum, RTV6.
Megan, thank you. Now to today's numbers from the state regarding the spread of the virus. Today, we learned of an additional 658 positive cases. It's the lowest number of the past 6 days. The statewide total is now more than 57,000. 3 additional Hoosiers have died from the virus. That brings the statewide total to 2,632. Today is also the day the state releases weekly updates on nursing home deaths and cases. Numbers specific to facilities are expected at the end of the month. But as of today, there have been 1,262 deaths in long-term care facilities, an increase of 17 from last week. 188 facilities report at least 1 death. And here's some encouraging news as the race for a vaccine continues. Scientists at Oxford University in England say their experimental coronavirus vaccine has been shown in an early trial to prompt a protective immune response in hundreds of people who got the shot. British researchers first began testing the vaccine in April in about 1,000 people, half of whom got the experimental vaccine. Such early trials are usually designed only to evaluate safety, but experts were also looking to see what kind of immune response was provoked. In research published Monday, scientists said that they found their experimental COVID-19 vaccine produced a dual immune response in people who got the shot.
Schools watch the state's numbers very closely as they determine their back-to-school plans. And as we see again today and in the past week, adjustments are being made. The latest school district to announce a delay in classes is in Johnson County. Clark Pleasant Community Schools announced they are holding off on the start of classes by 1 week until August 6th. The superintendent says it will give more time for teachers and staff to have safety measures in place for students and also prepare for virtual instruction for students who are using that option. And the IPS board voted over the weekend to delay the start of school by 2 weeks. Classes were scheduled to start August 3rd, but that date has been pushed to August 17th. Superintendent Alicia Johnson says the delay was driven by data from state and local health leaders. The district still plans to provide both in-person and full-time remote learning options. Registration for the virtual option has also been extended. So far, about 8,500 students have enrolled in the remote learning option. That's about 25% of the student population. And we are compiling a list of Central Indiana school districts' return plans. More are added daily. You can look for details on our website at theindychannel.com. Kevin.
Clouds in Central Indiana, and those clouds kept us reaching 90 degrees today. Relatively cool for this month. We hit 84 for the afternoon high. They're not building into thunderstorms, but we do have in portions of Central Indiana some showers to talk about. I'll circle 3 different areas for you, and you can see in Morgan County, then just to the southwest of Lake Monroe, and a couple in Rush County. These are not blossoming into anything big, but just to show you, we may have these isolated showers and a rumble of thunder. That's fading as it reaches Lake Monroe. Different story well to the south. These thunderstorms where the sun has come out today, a lot more unstable weather, and they're getting the stronger storms, and that's where the severe threat will be. Southern Indiana, basically Interstate 64 to the south. We'll talk about what changes there are, and there's some, in the 7-day forecast coming up.
The Rebound Indiana is connecting you to resources your family can rely on to financially recover from the impact of the pandemic.
The city of Indianapolis is using $15 million from the Federal CARES Act, plus a donation from the Lilly Endowment to help thousands of Marion County residents pay rent. RTV6's Stephanie Wade explains what is still available and how the city is meeting this huge need.
Over the course of just 3 days, Indianapolis's rental assistance program received over 10,000 applications for help. Because of the high volume, the website indyrent.org has moved to collecting now email addresses to be placed on a waiting list until they can fulfill all the applications already submitted. The average household, the deputy mayor says, has been asking for between $1,000 and $1,500.
And as we get further into the application processing over the next couple of weeks, we hope to be able to reopen and take some of the folks off the waiting list because there are still funds available in this round.
Eastern Star Church is one of the city's partners helping with outreach. They connected 24 families with the city's rental assistance, but want people to know they too are there and can help with rent and other necessities, even if the city does eventually run out of funds.
Unfortunately, individuals, this is not the first time that some of them have struggled. And we don't want them to become discouraged. And so for those individuals that it is the first time that they have experienced this, we don't want them to become discouraged either.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
The city is still accepting email addresses to be added to the wait list. They say they're also thinking of ways to do a second round with existing funds to which they already have access. Hundreds of local hotel workers are being laid off, according to the company running hotels like the Marriott and JW Marriott in downtown Indianapolis. Nearly 700 workers, part of the White Lodging Services Company, are now laid off in Indy and Fort Wayne. We reached out to the manager at the JW Marriott, and they say they recently reopened on July 9th, bringing people back to work after a 3-month temporary closure. They tell us that as more travelers start to venture back to downtown Indianapolis for business and leisure, they'll be able to bring more people back to work.
A 12-year-old West Side boy has now died from injuries in the same fire that claimed the life of his mother. The Indianapolis Fire Department reported today that Jeremiah Vinson died Saturday at Riley Hospital for Children. He was critically injured in a Wednesday morning fire at the Meadow Lake Apartments near 34th Street and High School Road. His mother, now identified as 43-year-old Kiana Jones, died from her injuries that day. Investigators say the fire started in a garage, but the exact cause remains under investigation.
A Fishers police officer has filed a federal lawsuit alleging the city never paid him for more than 1,000 hours he worked off the clock. Robert Bowling worked as a school resource officer. The lawsuit alleges Bowling was assigned to special projects and was told to work off the clock after he was disciplined for not completing his regular duties in a timely manner. The lawsuit accuses the city of Fishers of violating the Fair Labor Standards Act. RTV6 has reached out to the Fishers police and the city of Fishers regarding the federal lawsuit, and so far no comment. Bowling was placed on leave from the police department last year amid allegations of ghost employment. Indiana State Police investigated and the case was reviewed by the Hamilton County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, which did not file criminal charges against Bowling. However, Fishers Police is moving forward with terminating Bowling from the department. Still Still ahead here on RTV6, as the deaths climb and coronavirus continues to rapidly spread across the country, President Trump decides he's going to resume something he used to do when the pandemic started.
And still ahead on the news at 5:30, making a trip to the BMV soon. What do you need to take with you to make sure your payment goes smoothly?
And a summer pattern settling in. It's been there for a while. A familiar forecast ahead. Thunderstorm chances. We'll talk about the heat and humidity as well coming up.
Breaking news that could impact your evening commute or that of someone you know. The right lane of I-65 northbound at the I-70 North Split is expected to be closed for 2 hours due to a semi-rollover. We will keep you updated on this breaking news.
More than 140,000 Americans have lost their lives to COVID-19, and the virus is spreading rapidly, particularly in the South. Now President Trump says he is planning to resume his daily briefings tomorrow. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara has the latest on the coronavirus tonight from Washington.
As the number of COVID-19 infections continue to surge across the country, President Trump, who's barely mentioned the deadly virus in recent weeks, now seeming to acknowledge the dire situation.
We have had this big flare-up in Florida, Texas, a couple of other places. So I think what we're going to do is I'll get involved and we'll start doing briefings.
This coming just a day after the president defended his response to the pandemic in a combative interview with Fox News' Chris Wallace.
I'll be right eventually. I will be right eventually. You know, I said it's going to disappear. I'll say it again. But it's going to disappear. And I'll be right.
Today, Trump also meeting with top congressional Republicans to hammer out a new stimulus package meant to help the economy recover from the crisis.
We've said the number one issue is we have to fix the technical fix on enhanced unemployment. We're going to make sure that we don't pay people more money to stay home than go to work.
While the Washington Post reports the Trump administration is pushing to block new money for testing, tracing COVID cases, and the CDC, Trump revealing he is looking at a payroll tax cut and reducing federal funding to schools that don't provide in-class instruction.
I think it's very important. I think it's a very important thing. It's very good.
Meanwhile, as Florida reports over 10,000 new cases today and 92 deaths, protesters interrupting Governor Ron DeSantis during a press briefing. Mississippi's governor announcing on GMA he is extending the current mask mandate in his state.
Well, there's no doubt that young people in our state and across America are not taking the virus as seriously as we want them to.
And in New York, which was once the epicenter of the outbreak in the U.S., Governor Andrew Cuomo saying states that followed the president's advice are all worse off today.
I said if I reopen the economy recklessly, all it's going to do is increase the virus, which is exactly what happened to these other states. Their mistake was they listened to the president.
Congress has just days to reach an agreement on a new stimulus package. That $600 weekly help for the unemployed expires on July 25th. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
The emotional toll of the pandemic is different for everyone. The Rebound Indiana is our mission to make sure you and your family can find help if you need it. Today, the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration announced the launch of the Be Well Crisis Helpline. It's a confidential resource through Indiana 211 that will allow you to speak to a trained counselor 24/7. The free crisis helpline was established in direct response to the increased levels of stress and anxiety many people are feeling right now. All you have to do is call 211 and select option 3 to be connected to a counselor. Kevin Gregory joins us now with a look at our forecast, and we got some nice sunshine today.
I thought we were going to talk bugs.
Oh my goodness. Did anyone else get stuck in the big bug swarm around, was it 2:30?
Yeah, I mean, it was just all afternoon when I was driving in. So I thought, well, this is unusual, the number of bugs. And then I asked Amanda, and she said, yeah, I noticed that too. And then I put it on Facebook, and a lot of you are responding. They thought it was raining when they were driving. They had the bugs. Another one said a flying ant swarm had 40 in Ronald Reagan. So maybe you noticed the same thing. I don't have an answer for it. And I don't know what the bugs were. But when you have to turn the windshield wipers on for bugs, it's not good. 1/10 of an inch of rain today. That was really after midnight. We had just about 2/10 yesterday. There's our monthly total so far. By the end of July, typically 4.5 inches of rain. We're back to the radar. I showed you this off the top of the newscast. Nothing significant here, just a few sprinkles in Morgan County and in between Rushville and Connorsville. Temperatures kept down by the clouds. The humidity, can't keep that down. It's still humid. Temperatures 79 in Tipton, 79 in Greencastle, 90 down in Bedford, 88 in Bloomington. You get some sunshine to come out and bam, temperatures warm up quickly. At first she turned her back on us and then I said, Kenzie, and look what happened. She whips that head around. Terry Tilley sending in the picture of her little girl, Kenzie. Happy to take you for a walk this evening, young lady. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s at 11 o'clock tonight. Chance of any rain is low in central Indiana, higher as you get south of Bedford and Seymour. 7 o'clock, there are a couple of showers, thunderstorms just south of Bedford and Seymour. Maybe a sprinkle or two the rest of central Indiana. As we wake up tomorrow morning, we may see a round of some showers, isolated thunderstorms, then a long delay before we have more rain tomorrow night and into Wednesday. You'll notice the theme. I put a moderate chance for rain, generally 40 to 60% over the next 4 days. The morning hours tomorrow, a couple of showers or thunderstorms. Then late in the day, our chance for rain will increase once again. Looking at 86 for the afternoon high. Humidity not too much different than today. As you look at your Tuesday timeline, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 4, we begin to see thunderstorms blossom. Those move through, and then in the evening hours, another line of storms. Some of those may be strong. Damaging wind would be the main threat. Right now, there's a marginal or low risk for severe storms. As you can see, Wednesday and Thursday, more thunderstorms likely. Friday, a chance for thunderstorms. As the temperature goes up, rain chances go back down over the weekend.
You use that word burden with your wife?
Yeah, I've used it.
Still ahead tonight, an ABC exclusive, a candid conversation with Jeopardy's Alex Trebek about his battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Tomorrow, legendary Jeopardy host and pancreatic cancer patient Alex Trebek releases his memoir. It's titled The Answer Is Reflections on My Life. In an ABC exclusive, Trebek sat down with ABC's DJ Holmes to do a little verbal reflecting as well.
Alex Trebek has been very public about his private battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer since announcing his diagnosis to fans in March of last year.
I plan to beat the low survival rate statistics for this disease.
But now, the longtime Jeopardy host candidly revealing just how physically and emotionally devastating the journey has been, repeatedly describing himself as a burden to Jeannie, his wife of 30 years, during our conversation at his California home.
Do you use that word burden with your wife?
Yeah, I've used that.
And she says what to you when you
She
say
says you're not a burden. She's a saint, but she has so much goodness in her that she is always giving out, always putting out to help me get over difficult moments. And there have been some difficult moments. I'm just in awe of the way she handles it.
Difficult moments come daily, at home, at work, pain that keeps him up almost every night.
I'm good at faking it, but there have been tough moments, and I don't know what it is, but when it's time to go, it's time to go. Let's do it. Get out there, suck it up, make it happen.
But that's more than faking it, isn't it?
I don't know, TJ. It's something that I can't explain intellectually. At a gut level, without even thinking about it. It just happened. I suddenly wake up and I'm able to perform and handle the show because I like it. It's a good job.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a job Trebek still has no plans of ever leaving. Jeopardy is set to resume taping in weeks.
My doctor has told me that he is counting on me celebrating 2 years of survivorship past the diagnosis of stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And that 2 years happens in February. So I expect to be around, because he said I will be around, and I expect to be hosting the show if I am around.
Did it ever cross your mind that maybe you had hosted already your last episode of Jeopardy?
That thought has never crossed my mind.
And Trebek is receiving an experimental treatment, and he says if it does not work, that will be it. But right now, he says his numbers are headed in the right direction. He is 80 years old, has hosted Jeopardy for 36 years, and hopes there are many more episodes ahead, and we certainly wish him well. COVID-19 is taking a toll on all of us. It can be exhausting not being able to do what you are used to doing. If you're feeling extra stressed, you are not alone. Tonight at 6, we show you how to fight COVID-19 fatigue. And still ahead on the news at 5:30, finally a permanent home for some high school charter students in Indy. What makes this school so special?